And welcome back to the shed. Another CKL matchup here tonight. It's going to be a good one. It's going to be a good matchup tonight.
Yes, it is. We welcome you here on this lovely Tuesday night. No, Friday night. Oh my goodness, it's Friday. On this Valentine's night, we have Hesston versus Smoky Valley. It's going to be a good game.
You know, I'm excited to see if the girls can keep their 15-game winning streak going. You know, maybe they can boost that up to 16. You know, very impressive season by the Lady Swathers.
We'll pause a second for our national anthem, but we'll be back in 3 minutes.
Good evening.
So your starters tonight for the Smoky Valley Vikings will be 5'9" sophomore Sophia Iyer, your 5'7" sophomore Kensley Haxton, your 5'1" senior Elsie Boffman, 5'7" freshman Olivia Peterson, and your 6' senior Katja Blanchard.
And for the Swathers, it's going to be number 3, Kendall Brugan, a 5'10 senior. Number 5, Callie Yoder, a 5'3 junior. Number 15, Abby Proctor, a 5'10 senior. Number 20, Casey Mason, a 5'8 senior. And number 35, Ava McGill, a 5'6 senior. And this is a good anticipated matchup. These two teams met earlier in the year at Smoky Valley, I believe. I believe Hesston came out on top, but it was a pretty close game as far as I know. It wasn't too far, so this will be a good game and a good matchup for these two teams.
Yeah, it's always been a good matchup. Throughout our 4 years, I think they played each other every single year, so you know they just know each other very well. A little bit of a recap on this week for the Swathers. They had 2 very good wins against Cheney and Pratt, both away games. So you know, always just good to play those good teams. You know, Pratt being 4A, you know, might be a little bit of a tougher game, but I mean they still come out on top.
And Kendall Brugan and Kat Blanchett to tip the ball off. And Smoky Valley will win the toss, and Kinsley Haxton will bring the ball up the court for the Vikings. Over to Iyer. Back to Haxton. Guarded by Callie Yoder. Over to Ryan. And it's going to be stolen by the Swathers. Ava McGill is going to bring the ball up court over to Kendall Brugan. Brugan looking for something to Mason. Over to Yoder in the corner. Guarded by Haxton. Haxton up to Brugan up top. Brugan down low to Mason. Mason looking. Goes to Abby Proctor on the block. Yoder in the corner. Dribbles to the elbow. Back to Mason inside. And the ball is going to be tipped out of bounds by the Vikings, and it's going to stay with the Swathers.
McGill to inbound. Looking for anyone. Over to Brugan. Over to Yoder, top of the key. Shot fake, dribbles. Trips on her own feet, and the Vikings steal it going the other way. Blanchett with it, bringing it up the court. Over to Haxton. Haxton dribbling right, now goes left. Back to the right, over to Blanchett. Swathers in a matchup zone. Blanchett dribbles down low. Throws it at the basket, and Casey Mason with the rebound.
And Brugan to bring the ball up court. Looking for something, passes out to McGill outside. Up to Brugan up top. Down low to Proctor. Proctor's going to do some work down low. And her shot is going to be blocked by Kat Blanchett, and it is going to be tipped out of bounds. Looks like she kind of ran into her own teammate there. The Swathers are going to retain the ball. And Yoder to inbound. And goes to Proctor up top to Mason. Back up top to Yoder. McGill with the ball. She's going to go to Proctor. Proctor's going to shoot a three. It's going to be a little, nope, it's going to have a good bounce, and that's going to make it 3-0, Swathers. And the Vikings are going to inbound the ball, and it's going to be tipped out of bounds by Yoder. It's going to stay with the Vikings. Swathers running, looks to be a full court press here to get the Vikings on their heels a little bit. And looks like Haxton is going to dribble down, guarded by McGill, to Blanchett, guarded by McGill again. Blanchett's going to dribble baseline, doesn't have anything, and it's going to be stolen by the Swathers. Brugan pushing the court, and a nice easy layup for the Swathers, making it 5-0.
Haxton to inbound for the Vikings, into Blanchett. Swathers in a full court trap, into Haxton. Passes it up to Boffman, and out of bounds to the Vikings. Vikings to inbound to Boffman back door, and the shot is blocked out of bounds by Abby Proctor, and it'll stay with the Vikings. Ryan to inbound for the Vikings. Set play, being ran. There's a backside stolen by Kendall Brugan in transition. 6 easy strides down the floor and a left-handed layup.
Kendall Brugan now has 4 points for deny against Smoky Valley.
And it's going to be stolen again by the Swathers. Brugan goes with the shot. It's no good, but rebounded by McGill, staying with the Swathers. And it's going to be stolen by the Vikings, and that's going to be stolen by Boffman, I believe, who's going to take the ball up the court. Elsie Boffman up top, goes over to Sophia Iyer, over to Haxton, guarded by Callie Yoder, back over to Iyer, to Haxton again. Swathers appear to be in a zone, 2-3 zone. Haxton's going to have a shot. It's going to be a little off the mark, rebounded by the Swathers, and they're going to be pushing. Brugan makes a pass, and Mason's shot's going to be no good, rebounded by the Vikings.
Blanchett in transition. Little hezzy move, layup off the mark. And looks like Haxton got upended, and she'll go shoot 2 free throws.
And so far in this game, a lot of turnovers for both teams.
A lot of aggressive basketball.
High adrenaline, too. Kinsley Haxton's first free throw is going to be good, and Jaden Williams and Abby Proctor are going to check in for the Swathers. And Kinsley Haxton's second rebound is no good, rebounded by the Swathers. Yoder to push the court. Proctor up top. Proctor looks for the three. Doesn't. Proctor to Proctor. Yoder dribbling inside. And a nice contested layup, but it's going to be no good, and it's going to be rebounded by Smoky Valley.
Paxton with it, getting the play from her coach. On the Swather, dribbling just past half court. Over to Ryan, back to Haxton at the top of the key. Over to Ryan, to Boffman in the corner, back to Ryan. So again, nice backdoor cut there by, and Iyer scores 2 points for the Vikings. Yoder with it, top of the key. Over to Williams. Williams screened by J.C. Proctor, pick and roll, stolen by Ryan, and Blanchett looks to push in transition. Blanchett will slow it down and pass over to Haxton.
Ryan with the ball, goes to Blanchett down low. Blanchett going to work, and she's going to be fouled on her shot by, I believe, Abby Proctor, and she's going to shoot 2 at the line. So far, it's 7-3. Heston has the advantage with 3 minutes and 30 seconds left in the first quarter. Blanchett up for her first free throw. And then she's going to have the good bounce, and it's going to go in. Casey Mason checks in for the Swathers, sorry.
Abby Proctor was called for her first personal foul there.
And Kat's second free throw is going to be good. And it looks like Smoky Valley is going to take a timeout. 7-5. Heston has the lead with 3:30 left to go.
So far in today's game on Heston's side, Kendall Bruggen has 4 and Abby Proctor has 3.
As I said, I would like to say thank you for the Beneficent Harlan Foundation for being a 2024-2025 sponsor. The Beneficent Harlan Foundation is reinvesting in rural Kansas communities with a focus on the revitalization of downtown Heston, economic development, child care services, and community wellness. So your current scores for your Vikings will be Sophia Iyer with 2 points, Kat Blanchett with 2 points, and Kinsley Haxton with 1.
And so far what I'm noticing, both teams forcing a lot of turnovers, which in the end will be good for Smoky Valley, get Heston going quickly. So both teams keep it up for aggressive basketball.
Bruggen with it, right wing. Pick and roll with Casey Mason down low. Blocked by Blanchett and to Ryan. Haxton up to Blanchett. Blanchett 2 dribbles middle lane and is fouled by J.C. Proctor. Wonder if that was on the floor or if it was a shooting foul.
I believe that's going to be on the floor. Yep, it is.
So little pick-to-pick screen into Blanchett. Stolen by Yoder. And a foul on Blanchett, her first personal.
And Ashley Lehman is going to check in for the Swathers. I don't believe the Vikings have had a sub yet this game. As far as I know.
I don't think they have either.
Swathers going to bring the ball up the court. Bruggen with it, guarded by Iyer. Over to Williams. J.C. Proctor up top, back to Bruggen. Bruggen shoots a deep 3, and it's going to be a little short. Rebounded by the Vikings. And Elise Boffman over to Haxton. Haxton over to Iyer. Iyer looking, finds Ryan to Blanchett. Blanchett guarded by J.C. Proctor. Cross court to Iyer. Iyer to Haxton. To Ryan. Over to Boffman in the corner. And good defense by the Swathers. Vikings look for a 3. Haxton with the ball. Dribbling, looking for something. And Boffman's 3 Ryan's three is going to be a little bit short, and it's going to be out of bounds on the Vikings.
Abby Proctor and Ava McGill to check in for the Swathers. Lehman will inbound far side. Into Bruggen, 3/4 court. Dribbles it past half court. Dribbles to the left wing, gets a screen from her senior partner, Abby Proctor. Over to dribble drive baseline for Ava McGill. Up to Kendall Bruggen to top the key. Off the mark, rebounded by Blanchett in the corner. Blanchett will dribble it up the right side, being guarded by Abby Proctor. Boffman left side screen. Blanchett refuses, drives baseline.
And it's going to stay with the Vikings, I believe. Callie Yoder in for the Swathers. And Vikings will throw in the ball.
Haxton
Kat
inbound.
Blanchett, sorry.
Val, you got it.
Blanchett dribbling inside, and it looks like it's going to be out of bounds on the Vikings, and it's going to be Swathers' ball. Swathers to dribble up the ball. Callie Yoder to Proctor up top. Proctor over to JC Proctor. JC Proctor to Ashley Lehman. Lehman to Abby Proctor, and it looks like the Swathers are going to tip the ball out of bounds, and it's going to go back the other way.
You know, the Smokies playing some very good defense right now. I mean, got the Swathers a little bit flustered.
Swathers have just had a lot of costly turnovers.
Good defensive game so far. Haxton for Smoky Valley with the ball. Up top guarded by Ava McGill. Haxton to Ryan. Ryan inside to Kat Blanchett. Blanchett looking for something, a nice floater. It's going to be a little off the mark. Rebounded by JC Proctor for the Swathers. And she's going to be fouled by Elsie Boffman. And that'll be her first personal foul.
Still through a quarter of basketball. We still haven't seen a Smoky Valley sub yet.
7-5 Swathers, 50 seconds to go in the opening period. Yoder with it, top of the key over to Proctor, a little bounce pass to McGill. McGill looking inside, doesn't show it. Goes a float pass backside to Abby Proctor. Her shot is short, and Blanchett, hesitation in transition, looking to push it.
And Kinsley Haxton with the three. It's going to be short and rebounded by the Swathers. Yoder to bring the ball up the court in the corner. Up to McGill, over to Abby Proctor. Abby Proctor dribbles down low. Casey Mason with the 15-footer, and that's going to be good. Making it 9-5 Swathers. 10 seconds remaining. Smoky Valley with the ball. Haxton guarded by McGill. Goes cross court. Goes back to Kat Blanchett. Blanchett's going to shoot the three, and it's going to be good! The buzzer beater three, and that's going to make it a 1-point game here at the Shed, 9-8. Swathers have a 1-point lead.
Well, that is, at the end of the quarter, you know, that's a huge momentum play, you know. I mean, both teams gritting it out on defense. You know, it's just good to see something drop.
Yeah, no, boys, I wasn't expecting a 1-point game after the first period, to be honest, from Heston Swathers. So far for Heston, they got Kendall Bruggen with 4, Ivy Proctor with 3, and Casey Mason with 2.
For your Smoky Valley Vikings, you got Kat Blanchett with 5 points, Kinsley Haxton with 1 point, and Sophia Iyer with 2. You know, it's just been a good game overall. You know, you can't really look at the records when you see Heston playing Smoky because they just match up very well. You know, they've played each other a lot in these past 4 years, so it's just always a good matchup.
You know, so far I appreciate this game. I love a good defensive battle, but I wouldn't be surprised both of these teams are going to start heating up on offense, figuring out the patterns on the opposing team's defense, and I think we're in for a good game tonight. And Swathers are going to have the ball at the beginning of this quarter.
Yoder over to Abby Proctor. Back to Yoder to McGill. McGill dribbles left, over to Proctor on the wing for 3.
Ooh.
It goes in, but we have a whistle and
And it's going to be on Smoky Valley.
whistle and a foul on.
I think Smoky Valley. Yep, Kat Blanchett.
It's her second personal foul.
Looks like a push foul. So I don't know. Ran into each other maybe.
Ava inbounds to Abby Proctor. In amongst the trees, she gets a foul. That is Blanchett's third, I believe. No, first personal on Ryan.
Proctor going to shoot 2 shots here.
It happens on free throws. When it gets earthly quiet, the mic's like, feel like
I
you're
was
listening
confused
to
there
just
for a
nothing.
second. Proctor's first free throw is good. Her second is going to be no good, and it's going to be rebounded by the Vikings. Kat Blanchett to take the ball up, guarded by Proctor. Blanchett looking for something. Back to Boffman up top. Boffman dribbles down low. The ball is going to be stolen by Kendall Bruggen. Bruggen pushing the court, finds it pass to Yoder, and Yoder with the easy left-handed layup and a good transition offense by the Swathers. Vikings with the ball.
Blanchett with it. Proctor guarding her. Getting a screen from Boffman, refuses it, goes left, sits on the left wing. Dribbling up to Boffman, top key. Boffman will try a 3. Off the mark, but great rebound by Ryan running in. And Boffman, another 12-footer off the mark. And Yoder got clotheslined, and it'll be a foul on Boffman.
And it was good hustle there by the Vikings to get those offensive rebounds. And in for the Vikings, we got number 5, Nevaeh Spittler, and number 33, Ali DeBar, I believe. Sorry if I'm saying that wrong. Yoder with the ball, up top to McGill, over to Proctor. Finds Bruggen in the corner. Bruggen's going to shoot the 3, and it's going to be nothing but net.
Kendall Bruggen now has 7 points, leading Heston Swathers.
And the ball's going to be tipped out of bounds by the Swathers. It's going to stay with the Vikings at half court.
A little just costly pass there. Didn't know where Ira was throwing the ball there, but
Cameron Ryan going to take the ball up court, guarded by McGill. Ryan looking for something, shoots a nice little floater, and that's going to be good. A good play by Cameron Ryan.
Swathers get it out of the basket and look to push. Mason with it, top the key over to Bruggen on the left side. Back pick by McGill. McGill will go to Yoder on the right wing. Yoder's 3 is long, rebounded by Bruggen, and a nice left-handed layup for another Swather bucket. Swathers up 17-10 with 6 minutes to go here in the second period.
And DeBar with the ball, being trapped by the Swathers, looking for somebody, and there's going to be a timeout called by the Vikings to keep that possession. And that's one of the things you can't let the Swathers have. You can't let them have those extra possessions, especially early in the game. So
Yeah.
good timeout by Coach Jason Rowlard.
Yeah, the Swathers really just feed off second chance points and fast breaks. So if you can just kind of do a good job of limiting those, I mean, you'll stay in the game.
So far, the Vikings are playing really well and holding a solid Swather team to very few points, and they're playing pretty well against them so far.
Your scores for your Vikings will be Kat Blanchett with 5 points, Cameron Ryan with 2 points, Sophia Iyer with 2 points, and Kensley Haxon with 1.
For the Heston Swathers, Kendall Bruggen is leading with 7. Callie Yoder with 2, Abby Proctor with 4, and Casey Mason with 2.
And the Vikings are going to retain the possession here.
Haxton to inbound on the just inside of half court. Haxton with it, top of the key. She'll go around the screen. Spin move on Callie Yoder. over to Ryan. Ryan dribbling in the lane. Picked up by Spittler, and it will retain with the Vikings. Cameron Ryan to inbound for the Vikings. Into Haxton, and she is pushed by Ava McGill, and Vikings will take it on this line.
And in for the Swathers, it's going to be Jaden Williams.
Very physical basketball game tonight.
And Vikings are going to inbound the ball. Ryan up top. Sorry, that's not Ryan. Haxton up top. Looking for something inside. Passes out to Ryan. Up top to DeBar. And it's going to be stolen by Callie Yoder and the Swathers. Yoder to Bruggen. Back over to Yoder. And a nice little 1-2 pass for the left-handed layup by Yoder. And it's almost going to be stolen by the Swathers, but it's not. Vikings are going to keep the ball. Full court pass. Back to Haxton. Haxton guarded by Williams. And it's going to be picked away, but then the bar is going to get the ball back for the Vikings. Haxton up top. Setting up offense, telling him to slow down a little bit. Haxton, I believe, tries to shoot the three, but it's going to be blocked by J.C. Proctor. And Swathers are going to have the ball, but it is going to be out of bounds on the Swathers. And it's going to be Vikings ball again. Vikings inbound to Iyer, back to Haxton, who dribbles full court. Haxton with the nice little floater, no good, and it's gonna be a little fight for the rebound there, and it's gonna be out of bounds on the Swathers, so it's gonna stay with the Vikings under the basket.
Haxton to inbound for the Vikings. Haxton into Ryan, fight for the ball. Iyer ends up with it. Shots off the mark, and Abby Proctor with the rebound. Abby dribbling down the left side, passes to sister J.C. Proctor. Layup is off the mark, and Spittler with the rebound, back to Haxton. Haxton slowly dribbling it up. Jaden Williams walking backwards, guarding her. Spittler with the left ball screen. Haxton picked up the dribble over to Cameron Ryan. Cameron Ryan stripped by Callie Yoder, got it back. Haxton again shoots the three, off the mark, and Yoder with the rebound. Yoder is fouled by Spittler. And Swathers will get the ball on the baseline.
Ashley Lehman and Casey Mason come in for the Swathers. And Jaden Williams is going to take the ball down the court for Heston. She's going to be guarded by Ryan. Goes to Bruggen in the corner. Bruggen looking for something down low, finds Mason, guarded good. Back to Lehman, to Bruggen up top, dribbles inside, and her layup is going to be good through a lot of traffic there. And it looks like we're going to have an official's timeout for an injury.
In the meantime, number 2, Alexis Gordon has checked in for the Vikings.
And this is a good moment for both teams to kind of slow down, get a little break, and kind of go over a few game plans and make a few adjustments for this time that they have.
I don't even think we want to get Connor started on last weekend.
I think we do.
The Super Bowl? I don't think that's necessary, you know.
I'm very sorry, Chiefs fans. Sad day.
Yeah, Philadelphia is having a parade right about now, I think, and just celebrating their win against the Chiefs. Jalen Hurts had an absolute amazing game against Patrick Mahomes.
And it looks like Cameron Ryan is going to be stood up, and she's going to make a walk back with the trainer's help, which is good to see. You never want to see anybody badly hurt. No matter who you're cheering for, you always hate to see injuries. So good to see her back on her feet and walking with their own strength for the most part.
It'll be Smoky Valley basketball, and the Swathers will be in a full court press. Kind of looks like a diamond almost here at the
Yeah, kind of an odd defense a little bit.
trap. It's a trap press here. Blanchett with it.
And good execution by the Vikings.
And turned over by the Vikings. And Bruggen looking to push.
Oh, and stolen by the Vikings once again. Kat Blanchett bringing the ball down court. And it looks like a double dribble is going to be called. Trying to weave through a bunch of Heston Swather jerseys and just kind of lost the ball there for a second. Callie Yoder in for the Swathers. And it's going to be Heston's ball.
Yoder with it. Top of the key. Over to one of the Proctors. Over to JC. Swather swinging around the perimeter. Yoder dribbles out of the trap to Bruggen in the corner looking in to Casey Mason. Casey Mason one dribble. Throws it over the basket. And foul on JC Proctor. It's not JC Proctor.
I thought it was Ashley Lane.
It is Ashley.
It is Ashley Lane. That'll be her first personal foul of the game, and it's going to be Vikings ball. And Iyer is going to have the ball. She's going to be trapped, and it's almost going to be stolen by the Swathers, but Kat Blanchett keeps the ball. Blanchett to dribble the ball down the court over to Alexis Gordon. And Blanchett up top, guarded by Yoder. And it looks like Smoky Valley's coach telling him to set up an offense and get things going here. Blanchett still with the ball. Over to Spittler. And to Gordon in the corner, guarded by Mason. Gordon back out to, couldn't see who that was. And it's going to be stolen by the Swathers. And Bruggen with the easy layup, making it a 23-10 game with 2 minutes left in the second quarter.
Blanchett with it, dribble drive. Over to,
I believe that was DeBar. DeBar's three is going to be a little bit long. Rebounded by the Vikings. Kat Blanchett gets another shot. It's going to be long. And it's going to be turned over by the Vikings. And Swathers are going to keep the ball. And Swathers are going to have the ball here. Yoder guarded by Haxton at half court. Yoder to Bruggen. Bruggen dribbling baseline to Proctor at the block. Back out to Bruggen for the three, and it's going to be good.
Shot by Kendall Bruggen.
And that's going to make it a 16-point game here in the shed. Vikings with the ball. Kat Blanchett looks cross court for DeBar. DeBar's three is going to be good. Oh, that's going to be a two, actually. Foot was on the line, but still a good shot. Good shot nonetheless. Swathers pushing quickly. Bruggen with the ball, and it's going to be stolen by the Vikings.
looks like the Vikings are playing a little zone down here. I don't know what kind, but they played a zone. Paxton with the top of the key. Screen by DeBar. Paxton dribbles right. Gives it to Blanchett. Blanchett down in the corner. Hands it off to Gordon. Gordon inside to Spittler. Spittler off the glass strong, and Swathers can't bring down the rebound, and it will be Viking basketball.
And Sophia Iyer is gonna check in for the Vikings. And she's gonna come in for a lead DeBar.
Haxton with it, right wing. Looking inside, doesn't have it, so she'll dribble back up top. Ball in her right hand. Iyer with a left screen out to Gordon. Gordon back inside to Paxton, but it was stolen by Kendall Bruggen. Up to Ashley Lehman for the layup. A little bit long. Iyer with the rebound to Gordon.
Gordon dribbles the ball up court, back over to Iyer. Iyer goes to the corner, there's nothing. Back to Kat Blanchett up top, guarded by Proctor. Blanchett looking for something, goes up to, tries to go to Gordon. It's gonna be a little bit over her head, and Swathers are gonna have the ball with 14.3 seconds left in this first half. And Swathers with the ball, Proctor in the corner, back to Bruggen, up top to Yoder. Vikings in a 2-3 zone, it looks like. Yoder and Proctor is going to turn over the ball, and Vikings are going to keep it, and that will do it for the end of this first half here in the Shed.
Your score at halftime is 26-12. What are our stats, boys?
So far for Hesston, Kendall Bruggen has 16, leading the Hesston Swathers. Callie Yoder with 4, Abby Proctor with 4, and then Casey Mason with 2.
For your Vikings, it will be Kat Blanchett with 5, Ellie DeBar with 2, Cameron Ryan with 2, Kensley Haxton with 1, and Sophia Iyer with 2. You know, that was a very good defensive quarter by the Vikings. You know, they held them, or excuse me, the Swathers. They held the Vikings to 4 points in that quarter. So, you know, I mean, you really just hope that the Vikings during this halftime, they can just figure out how to get some better offensive consistency.
And stay tuned here for the second half of Hesston versus Smoky Valley. We'll be back soon. And we welcome you back here for the second half of the Smoky Valley Swathers game. Hesston is going to have the ball first here in this second half. And Proctor's shot and Swathers are going to keep the ball. Yoder with an elbow shot. It's going to be no good, and it's going to be tipped out of, no, there's going to be foul, I believe, on Casey Mason. That's going to be her first personal foul, and the Vikings are going to have the ball here. Swathers with a full court press. Kat Blanchett cross court to Ryan, and there's going to be a charge called on Cameron, oh sorry, that's Elsie Boffman. And that's going to be her third personal foul of the game. And the Swathers are going to have the ball. Yoder to bring the ball up the court, guarded by Haxton. Yoder to Proctor. Proctor outside the arc, guarded by Kat Blanchett. Drives baseline, a reverse layup by Abby Proctor, and she's going to get a good bounce, and it's going to go in. Vikings with the ball here. Haxton guarded by Bruggen. Haxton pushing the court over to Ryan. And Sophie Iyer over to Boffman. Up top to Kat Blanchett. And Kinsley Haxton guarded by Yoder up top.
Haxton dribbling around on the top key, swings it. Haxton back to the top of the key. Haxton, I have no idea what she's doing right now.
He's dribbling.
Blank shot, screens. Heston Swathers steals the ball. Bruggen taking it down the court. Finds Ava McGill. To Yoder. Finds Proctor in the corner. Proctor dribbling around outside. Finds Mason inside.
And it's going to be a jump ball called, and it's going to go the Swathers' way. Sorry, no, it's going to go the Vikings' way. And a good defensive possession there by the Vikings to limit the Swathers to no points. Ryan with the ball over to Blanchett. Blanchett cross court, up top to Ryan, over to Haxton. Haxton up top getting the offense set.
One thing that makes the Swathers defense so challenging is them switching screens, because they can match up with anybody.
Haxton with the ball in the corner, guarded by Bruggen, over to Ryan, guarded by Yoder. Ryan dribbles free throw line, looks for the shot, good pass down to Boffman, and that's going to make it a 28-14 game here. Vikings almost get the steal, doesn't. Proctor down low, good pass to Callie Yoder, and that's going to be a nice easy layup. And
Boffman needs to tie her shoe, looks like.
Jaden Williams and JC Proctor in for the Swathers.
Cameron Ryan with it over to Blanchett. Blanchett to bring it up. Abby Proctor forcing her left, making her use her left hand. Blanchett middle of the lane, floats it up, and she'll be fouled on the play. He'll shoot 2 free throws. JC Proctor is Blanchett's first free throw is good. She'll shoot 1 more. Score 30-15, 5 minutes to go here in the third period. Blanchett's second free throw is nothing but the bottom of the net.
Swathers bring the ball up court. Williams. Pass down low to JC Proctor. Her shot is going to be a little short, and it's going to be rebounded by Kinsley Haxton for the Vikings, and a foul is going to be called on Kendall Bruggen for the Swathers. And that's going to be her first personal of the game. Vikings keep the ball. Cameron Ryan up top goes back to Kinsley Haxton. And the ball's going to be stolen by Kendall Bergen. And it's going to be a one-on-one layup, and it's good. Vikings with the ball. Haxton pushing the ball down the court. Over to Kat Blanchett. Blanchett looking for something. Up top to Haxton. Haxton guarded by Williams. Good defense. Over to Ryan. And down low to Boffman. Boffman tries to do a left-handed scoop layup, and it's going to be no good. Rebounded by the Swathers.
Transition three from Abby Proctor.
Good shot by Abby Proctor.
Great transition offense there by the Swathers, getting the open shot. And Blanchett will have it top the key, dribbling with her right hand. Screen by Boffman. To the corner is Cameron Ryan. And stolen by Bergen again. Bergen up to Jaden Williams. Layup off the mark. Haxton with the rebound, pushing left side. Haxton comes middle. Dishes to Iyer. Back to Haxton. Haxton
somehow got in there and had a nice layup. And that was really good dribbling skills showed by Haxton. Swathers with the ball. Yoder up top, guarded by Haxton. Over to Proctor, to Williams. Williams dribbling. Over to Bruggen up top. Bruggen, crossover, looks inside. Her layup is going to be no good, and it's going to be rebounded by the Vikings. Kat Blanchett to bring up the ball, and it's going to be stolen by the Swathers.
Poked from behind by Bruggen. Bruggen will take it left dribble, middle of the lane, over to Williams. Williams back to Bruggen. Corner three is short, and Haxton will get the rebound and look to run. Callie Yoder sitting in the lane waiting for her. Shots off the mark, and Yoder will get the rebound. Back to Bergen, and we'll run it again. Bergen stop and pop, 15-foot jump shot.
And that's going to be good. And a lot of transition plays there by both teams. Timeout called by Matthew Richardson for the Swathers. And I think that was a well-needed timeout for both teams, honestly. A very quick gameplay, and I think both coaches just want them to slow it down and get good, solid possessions here.
Yeah, I mean, the Vikings started out the half pretty good. You know, they scored quick 6 points, but then the Swathers started to heat up, and then, I mean, they just kind of took off.
Also, I think fatigue has a role to play in it too, just giving people some rest.
Yeah, we haven't seen much subbing from the Vikings today.
A little shout out to Kendall Bruggen. She has a total of 20 points leading Hesston. And then the rest for the Lady Swathers, Callie Yoder with 6, Abby Proctor with 8, and Casey Mason with 2.
Vikings with it in the full court. Over to Blanchett. Blanchett, screened by Boffman. Back to Boffman, top of the key. Boffman thought about it, and she'll give the ball to Ryan, and it'll be a jump ball possession error to the Swathers.
McGill is going to inbound the ball for the Swathers to Williams up top, who's going to be the point guard. Guarded by Haxton as she crosses half court. Over to McGill. McGill down low to Proctor. Proctor to Mason, and a very good pass by the young player, J.C. Proctor. And that's going to be an easy 2 points for the Swathers. The Vikings with the ball. Kat Blanchett up top, guarded by J.C. Proctor, getting the offense set up for the Vikings. And she's going to lose the ball there for a second, but picks it back up. Blanchett is going to dribble down low and is going to be fouled on her shot, so she's going to have 2 shots, 2 free throws coming up. And Ashley Lehman is going to pick up her second personal foul. Kat Blanchett's first free throw is going to be nothing but net. And her second free throw is going to be nothing but net once again. Swather is going to bring up the ball. Lehman up top. And it's going to be stolen by, well, for a second they're stolen by the Vikings. But it looks like Kat Blanchett stepped out of bounds or kind of lost the ball there for a second. It's going to stay with the Swathers. Jaden Williams up top. Vikings look to be in a 1-2-2 zone. And Casey Mason's going to try an elbow shot, but she's going to be fouled. And she's going to have 2 free throws.
What I've noticed by the Vikings is they like to contest your shots, and they like to try to swat you, even the smaller guards, and sometimes that just doesn't work. Prime example right there. Casey Mason's first free throw is good. She'll shoot one more. Second free throw is good. And Boffman to inbound. Boffman with it back. All the way, coast to coast, off the window, and she will shoot 2 free throws.
And the Vikings are going to be in bonus with 1:15 left in this quarter. Swathers have 5 team fouls combined. Boffman's first free throw is going to bounce around the rim, and it's going to be no good. For the Swathers, Abby Proctor, Kendall Brugan, and Callie Yoder check in. And Elsie Boffman's second free throw coming up. And it's also going to bounce off the rim. But a good hustle play by the Vikings. Almost get the rebound, but don't quite get it. Swathers pushing down the court. Yoder
middle of the floor, over to Abby Proctor. Dribble drive to Bergen backside for 3. Short. Yoder with the rebound. Yoder will dribble out and reset. Yoder up to Lehman, over to Bergen. Bergen being double teamed. Back to Yoder. Thought about it. Shot fake. More of a head fake. Bergen off the glass and good.
And it's going to be 43-20 with 40 seconds remaining. Vikings with the ball. Haxton crossing half court, guarded by Lehman. Haxton dribbling into the lane, and looks like there's going to be a foul called on Callie Yoder for the Swathers. And she is going to shoot 2 shots as
Swathers' 5th foul of the quarter. New rule, I don't know if new rule as of 2 years ago.
That was 2 years ago? I thought that was more recent that they changed that.
The year before last.
Okay. Because before that it was, what, 5 fouls, 1 free throw, 1 and 1?
7.5,
7.
and it was 1 and 1.
Yep.
And then fouls 7, 8, 9 were 1 and 1, and
Yep.
10 was 2 shots.
Haxton's first free throw is no good, and her second is also no good. It's going to be a little fight for the ball. Both teams kind of looked like they could have had the ball there, but couldn't quite get it, so it's going to be called a jump ball, and it's going to stay with the Vikings under their own basket. Kat Blanchett up top with 20 seconds remaining in this quarter. She's going to dribble down low, and it's going to be a blocking called on Mason. A blocking foul, and Kat Blanchett is going to shoot 2 free throws. And Mason appears to be a little shooken up after trying to take a charge there for a second. And I believe J.C. Proctor is going to check in for Casey Mason.
Good to see Casey Mason getting back up under her own strength.
And you have to give props to her for going down there and taking a charge. Somebody coming at you full speed. It's not fun to just stand there and hope for the best. So still props to her. And as I mentioned, J.C. Proctor in for Casey Mason for the Swathers. And Kat Blanchett is going to be shooting 2 free throws here. First is going to be good. Nothing but net. Kat Blanchett, a very solid free throw shooter.
She's made her last 5, I think.
Yeah, and they're
Not
all.
me if that's being an announcer's jinx, but
Yeah, no jinx there. Sinks both free throws with no effort, and Swather's going to bring the ball up the court. Yoder guarded by Haxton. Vikings appear to still be in their 1-2-2 zone. Swather's looking for something. Bruggen is going to shoot a pretty deep 3, and it's going to be good. And that's going to probably do it for this quarter, and it will. Swather's up 46-22 at the end of the third.
You know, very solid third quarter by the Swathers, you know. I mean, they just completely shut down the Vikings, you know, so.
the only place the Vikings scored was from the charity stripe there in that corner, so.
Yeah, but sometimes that is definitely the difference in games. Can't say this game's over yet. You never know what happens in the fourth quarter, especially against these two rival teams in the CKL.
You know, the stat line, Hesston's cooking right now, especially Kendall Bruggen. Kendall Bruggen has 25 points right now. That's what you would expect from a D1 athlete, I guess.
I would assume there was more Swathers that scored as well, correct?
Yes.
Would you like to read those off, please?
Callie Yoder with 6, Abby Proctor with 8, and Casey Mason with 6.
Thank you, Connor.
For your Vikings, it will be Kat Blanchett with 11, Illy DeBar with 2, Elsie Boffin with 2, Kensley Haxton with 3, and Sophia Iyer with 2.
And I believe Kat Blanchett has started for many years for the Vikings, has she not?
Yeah, I mean, she's either been a 4 or 3 year starter, so I mean, either way, a lot of experience.
Kinsley Haxton appears to have the ball a lot. She's a solid player for being a sophomore.
A lot of youth for those Vikings.
A lot of room to grow. As Bruggen with it, top of the key. Between the legs, few little nifty moves. Backs down Haxton in the lane, off the mark, and Swathers will swing it out. Proctor, dribble drive, off the window. J.C. Proctor with the rebound, and we'll put it in for a layup.
Vikings are going to bring the ball down the court. Kinsley Haxton is going to be guarded by McGill as she crosses half court. Over to, who's that going to be? That's going to be Spittler. Down low to Kat Blanchett. Blanchett with a nice layup. Contested layup, I might add. And Swathers are going to bring the ball back up. Proctor up top, guarded by Blanchett. Over to McGill. Over to Yoder. Back up top to Bruggen. She looks for a 3. Over to Proctor. Back to Yoder, who's going to dribble back up. McGill to Yoder down low. Proctor to Proctor. And that's going to be a nice little 1-2 punch from the Proctor sisters. And timeout called by the Vikings. 50-24, 6:40 remaining, left in the fourth quarter.
You know, I just want to say Hesston has played some great defense. They only allowed Kat Blanchett to score 11. The only player on Smoky Valley to have double digits.
What do you guys think that the Smoky coach is currently telling them in the huddle right now?
Just calm down, find your shot. We'll be fine. Let's create some momentum, maybe go on a run. So.
What about for the Swathers?
Just keep doing what you're doing. Just make sure you take great shots, make the extra pass. Don't do anything too risky and give Smoky Valley extra possessions that you don't want to give them. And
just keep your foot on the gas.
Yep, stay solid, and that's what I would assume Matt Richardson's telling them.
Yeah, very well coached team by Matt Richardson. Took them to a state runner-up last year, and I mean they've been solid every year. So.
And Vikings are going to have the ball here. Boffman going to pass it up top to Haxton at the logo, guarded by McGill. Over to Boffman once again. Boffman dribbles baseline, goes back out to Kat Blanchett up top. Vikings getting an offense set up a little bit. And Blanchett taking her time. And she's going to pass it, hand it off to Haxton. And Iyer to DeBar. DeBar is going to lose the ball there for a second, but gets it back to Kat Blanchett, who throws a nice pass down low, somehow gets there, and Boffman's shot is going to be a little bit off, rebounded by the Swathers. Bruggen pushing the court, and a nice pass to J.C. Proctor down low, and that's going to make it 52-24 with 5:50 remaining.
Jeez, Haxton, dribbling at the top of the key. Over to Iyer. Iyer back to Haxton. Post to post screen. Iyer, Haxton into Blanchett. Blanchett throws it up. She'll go to the charity strike for 2 seconds.
And we've seen all night, assuming she makes these 2 free throws. And for the Swathers, Rianne Grillo is going to check in. Rianne Grillo is a 5'9" junior, getting some minutes here in the big varsity time. Kat Blanchett's first free throw is good.
You know, she's doing a very good SGA impression tonight. A little bit of a free throw merchant.
And her second free throw is going to be good.
She's what you would call one of them, like, free throw shooters at the end of a college basketball game where they just don't miss. I don't like those people.
Pressure makes diamonds.
No. Yoder with the 3 at the top of the key, long, and she'll get her own rebound. Swinging in the perimeter. One dribble, J.C. Proctor into Rianne Grillo. Back out to J.C. Proctor. J.C. Proctor gets the ball stripped, and Haxton with it in the full court. Haxton being guarded by Ava McGill. Swings it around the perimeter, gets it back. Dribble drive on Ava McGill, passes to Boffman, and Boffman throws it into the seats. Just uncharacteristic turnovers by the Vikings, not finding the smart shot. It's really, really hurting them here in this ball game.
And are Smoky Valley and Heston in the same sub-state? I don't know if they are this year. They were last year.
No. I think it's the same as the guys, right?
Yeah, it's the same, but I wasn't for sure if Smoky Valley was in it.
I think it's like Collegiate, Nemaha Central, Cheney.
Okay.
Around those teams. I'm not sure who the last one is.
Haven.
And Jaden Williams for the Swathers is going to shoot a 3, and there's going to be a little bit of a wrestle for the ball. I think it was called the jump ball, and it was a foul called on J.C. Proctor, actually. So the Vikings are going to have the ball, and Haxton is going to bring it up, guarded by McGill at the logo. Haxton to Iyer. Iyer looking down low, finds Boffman, down to Blanchett. Boffman gets the ball back, and she's going to be fouled by Rianne Grillo, and that's going to be her first foul.
To answer your question, Smoky Valley is in Heston sub-state this year.
Okay, so there's a chance these 2 teams will play again.
And if you weren't informed, we have a new sub-state format this year. 16 teams in a sub-state, 2 sides.
It's a big sub-state.
The only games that are played at the sub-state location are the championships. The others are played at the top seeded hosting schools.
Interesting.
So
that'll be cool to see. Elsie Boffman, both of her free throws are going to be good, and Swathers are going to bring up the ball. Williams, guarded by Iyer, finds Proctor up top. Proctor to Grillo. Grillo shoots a nice inside layup, but it's going to be no good. Vikings pushing the ball, and Cat Blanchett with the full court layup through a bunch of traffic.
How many points does Blanchett have, Peter?
15.
And
Williams with it down low to Proctor. Williams just looking to get it out. Down low to J.C. Proctor. Blocked by Boffman, and Blanchett's pushing. Blanchett being guarded by Ava McGill, not letting her do anything. Swings it to Boffman. Boffman, pump fake, dribble drive in the lane. Off the backboard, off the mark, and Williams will push up to Ashley Lehman in transition. Lehman, jump stop to J.C. Proctor. J.C. Proctor shots off the mark, and it will be Viking basketball out of bounds. Kylie Warden to check in here for the Swathers for J.C. Proctor.
Kylie Warden, a 5'7" sophomore. A pretty young roster on the court right now for Hesston. And a timeout is going to be called on the Vikings.
30-second timeout.
And I would like to add for the boys game, it's not going to be on this stream. You're going to have to go to the boys game. That's after this, that stream. Carter Gonzalez is going to be inducted into the Shrine Bowl for football as a linebacker. Am I correct?
Linebacker, yeah.
Linebacker, yep. So if you want to see Carter get introduced or inducted for that, make sure to go right over to the boys stream on Swather Sports Network to watch that. A big feat for the upcoming football star.
When is that? Is that at halftime or before the game?
I believe it's before the game.
Okay,
Yeah.
so we're going to have to switch quick.
Yep. It should. Alexander said he can switch it pretty quickly. So yeah, if you want to check that out, make sure you go over to the boys stream and watch that right after the girls game.
Thank you to Alexander for being here, for Miss Neiman tonight.
Of course, doing the dirty work behind the cameras.
And working in the pit stop, doing it all. Zayla Ray in for the Swathers. And Spittler back in for the Smoky Valley Vikings.
It appears one of our commentators is getting a little laugh happy up here.
Peter is blushing, that's for sure.
It is Valentine's Day, Peter. Huh? All right. Anyway,
Hey, yo.
Swathers are going to shoot the ball in. It's going to be good. About a free throw shot for Rianne Grillo. And good points there for the junior.
Haxton at the top of the key. Left ball screen from Blanchett. She refuses it. Use a Spittler screen to get down inside the lane. Up to Boffman. Boffman, right hand dribble over to Haxton, into Boffman in the lane. Off the glass and good. Bringing our score to 54-32. A minute and 50 seconds to go in the ball game. Swathers just looking to move the ball around, get out of here with another win. And it'll be turned over and it'll be Smoky Valley basketball.
And this court, or these players that you see on the court right now, will most likely be the future for the Swathers. Most of these players pretty young, still have another year left. Actually, all of them at least have one more year left. Smoky Valley with the ball. Haxton up top, guarded by Ray. Over to Blanchett. Blanchett dribbles inside and almost an and one, but doesn't quite go in, and she's going to shoot 2 free throws.
Third personal on Ashley Lehman. And Blanchett will shoot 2 shots.
And Kat Blanchett's first free throw is going to be no good. I think that's her first free throw she's missed all night, so props to her for being able to shoot those free throws with a lot of eyes on her. And her second free throw is going to be a little bit long.
Lane violation on the Swathers, so she'll shoot another free throw.
Get some revenge for those two she just missed. And she does get a revenge, and she's going to make her third free throw.
Just under a minute and a half to go in the ball game. Swathers up 21. Just looking to dribble out the clock here. And stolen by Blanchett. Swathers is making some uncharacteristic passes here.
Blanchett racking up those points right now. Swathers with the ball over to Warden. Up top to Grillo.
Blanchett's got to pad the stats.
Lehman over to Grillo, guarded by Blanchett. To Warden. Warden's going to dribble, looks for something, and doesn't have anything. Ray up top with the ball. Over to Williams. Williams over to Grillo. To Lehman. Lehman's going to be guarded by Kat Blanchett, and she's going to push Lehman a little bit, and that's going to be her third personal. That's going to be Kat Blanchett's third personal of the game.
Lehman to inbound, 40 seconds to go. Into her friend Rianne, over to Zayla Ray. Zayla to Warden at top key. Warden will shoot a shot off the mark, and Haxton looks to push. Haxton with it, top of the key. Over to Blanchett. Blanchett, dribble drive, and she'll go to the foul stripe to shoot 2 free throws.
And that's going to put Heston in the bonus with 22 seconds remaining. So next week, Smoky Valley is going to be playing Halstead at home. I believe that will be next Tuesday. Yep, next Tuesday. And Heston will be playing Sunrise Christian Academy on Monday, a makeup game that was, I believe, in January that was canceled due to snow and weather. So that's what next week will be looking like for both teams.
And Nickerson on Tuesday.
Yeah, so back-to-back nights of games.
They're both at home instead of being in Cheney and Pratt like they were this week. So
and 2 long trips.
That'll be really nice.
And Smoky Valley next week plays at Pratt on Friday. So that will do it here in the shed for the girls' game. Swathers 54, Smoky Valley 37. Swathers coming out with a dominant victory over the rival Smoky Valley Vikings.
So for the Heston Swathers, Kendall Bruggen had 25. Callie Yoder with 6. Abby Proctor with 8. Casey Mason with 6. Brianne Grillo with 2. And JC Proctor with 4.
And for your Smoky Valley Vikings, it was Kat Blanchett with 18, Ellie DeBar with 2, Cameron Ryan with 2, Elsie Boffman with 4, Kensley Haxton with 3, and Sophia Ira with 2.
So that will do it for our girls matchup here in the shed for tonight. Yeah, so we'll see you back here on Monday. Have a good night. Swap